It is opening day. There is so many different storylines to get into. We'll get to the Lindor contract. We'll get to how it impacts the free agent market for next offseason, because if you're a shortstop and you saw what Lindor got, you're probably licking your chops this morning, knowing that, hey, he kind of raises the bar for everybody else. So we'll get to the baseball coming up. But we begin this morning with the latest with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans, because it is not good. And you look at the latest with Watson. Let's start with the latest civil suits that have been filed against him. 2 more women filed lawsuits against Watson yesterday. So we're now up to 21 harassment lawsuits against Deshaun. And then, as that happened, Deshaun Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, in an attempt to basically, try and, prove Deshaun would never do the things he's accused of, these allegations against him. Rusty Hardin comes out and has 18 massage therapists go on the record and say they've had nothing but great experiences with Deshaun Watson. And I don't know if that's the right approach if you're Deshaun Watson there. Deshaun Watson's attempt to prove he would never commit the allegations that people are saying he did, I think it backfired. Because based on Rusty Hardin's statement, the women that are filing the sexual assault lawsuits, if you combine the 21 that have accused Deshaun and 18 that have come out and supported him, you had 40 different masseuses in the past couple of years, and you're a pro athlete? That doesn't make any sense. I think it makes Deshaun look worse. You're a franchise quarterback. You're a multi-millionaire. Why are you coming out and like having this many massage therapists? It doesn't make any sense. It's weird. At the minimum, it's weird. So yesterday I'm on Twitter and I saw that a good friend of the show, former Saints offensive lineman Jermon Bushrod, he fueled the skepticism that I was just talking about. He tweeted this, quote, "I played 12 years. I think I had half of that throughout my whole career." Like 40 different massage therapists over the last 2 years is insane. It's not normal. So you have names and statements from 18 women saying that he didn't sexually assault them. But that doesn't mean he's innocent. That's like saying, someone could rob 5 houses, but another person then comes out and says, well, this person was in my house. He didn't rob me. So there's no way he could have done it to other people. It just doesn't make sense. I don't think this helps Deshaun Watson. I don't know if it necessarily hurts him. But when you really think about it, we're talking about a millionaire that's had 40 different massage therapists working on him. And an athlete's body is their moneymaker. It's their temple. It's the most valuable thing. So to think that Deshaun Watson was going out of his way to have 40 different people massage him, it's insane. And it also undermines the idea that Deshaun Watson wouldn't be able to figure out who the women are that are accusing him if he was able to come up with 18 people that spoke out on his defense. So everything that happened yesterday, from the 2 more women that filed lawsuits to now Deshaun Watson coming out and saying, well, I have 18 women here that said I'm a great guy. I don't think this helps him at all.
No, not at all. And here's the other thing to think about, right? Yeah, 21, 22 have filed suits against him. 18 are for him. That's all we know.
How many more?
Yeah. I mean, he was able to find 18 because we already know there's the one who did the interview with Jenny Varentas who doesn't want to be a part of the suit. She obviously wasn't on Deshaun Watson's side. So she's that one outlier that's out there that is neither for or against. She just doesn't want any part of it. She just wanted her story to be told.
Which is significant because, remember, the woman in Sports Illustrated, I think it's worth repeating that we're on. She came out and SI was able to verify her accounts through messages and through other sources.
Yep.
And she's not part of Tony Busby's
21, 22.
She's separate. So you have someone coming out that's not looking for money, that's not involved in any lawsuit, saying, no, he did this stuff.
So, I mean, you have to think about that. It's like, all right, well, okay, they found some against, they found some for, but how many other women out there or how many other massage therapists out there just don't want to get involved?
Right.
They just want to go to work. They just want to keep their 9-to-5 day job going.
This doesn't help Deshaun Watson.
Not at all.
I think it makes him look worse. I really do. Based on his own statements, we now know that Deshaun Watson's had at least, as you said, there could be more, at least 40 different massage therapists or masseuses in the past, 2 years?
Yeah,
I think it's the timeline.
And to your point that his body is his temple, his body is his, that's his moneymaker. How many barbers?
Sounds very sexual. When you
no,
say
I
that.
know, but how many barbers has he gone to? Because it's a similar thing. He's a high profile athlete that needs to take care of his image. If he gets a bad haircut, we all are going to know about it.
And once again, you have a former Pro Bowler, Jermon Bushrod, coming out and saying, I played 12 years. I think I had half of that throughout my whole career. We're talking about 40 plus different women over the last 2 years. So it's just Watson's attorney here. I don't know if this is the right approach because you're releasing names and statements from 18 different women that he didn't sexually assault. But that doesn't mean the other 21 are lying, right? Like maybe he was great for those 18. But once again, if someone robs 5 houses, but then another person says, well, this person was in my house, he didn't rob me. Like, that doesn't mean that the other 5 didn't happen. The other 5 robberies didn't still happen. So it's a mess.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't have the stuff that he wanted.
It's just, it's a bad look all around for Deshaun. And I think this is all pressure from Busby's side of things to eventually get Deshaun Watson to settle. Because that, to me, is the only way this ends. The only way Deshaun Watson can move forward is eventually settling out of court, facing whatever suspension the NFL would levy on him for conduct detrimental to the team. And the NFL doesn't need evidence. They could do what they want, basically. And we've seen this before.
Is this not the most bizarre case I think we've ever had in the NFL?
Yes. There has never been an active athlete. I was reading this yesterday that has had more active sexual assault cases filed against him.
But not only that, but then the person who's filing it, Tony Busby, is rewriting the rules of how he wants to go about this case.
Correct.
That's another angle to this that's just extremely bizarre as well, because it's like, all right, well, you're not wanting to go to Houston Police Department because you're afraid of your opposing lawyer's son is a part of the police department, but you had no problems before. I mean, there's all these different things that it literally this will go down as probably the strangest case ever. And if you're the NFL, you got to be really careful, because at this point you might be like, 8-game suspension or 1 or, a quarter. I don't know. It's so, this thing is so confusing.
The best thing to happen for the NFL here is that this is going on in the offseason. Because if this was happening in season, he would have to be placed.
Well, and they're in a great position right now, because they can just sit back, watch the world burn for a little bit, and then come in and do their thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect anything to happen at this point. But what undermines Busby's credibility here is kind of what you were alluding to there, Ron. The fact that if you have all this evidence, then don't give me the conflict of interest with the Houston Police Department. It's Harris County. Go to the police department. That should be a no-brainer. So that, to me, undermines Busby's credibility. But Watson coming out and having 40 masseuses over the last 2 years doesn't necessarily mean he's guilty, but it's a weird look for a star athlete to do that. So A. Gomes here on YouTube, thank you for watching, A. Gomes. He writes in, it's not a crime to have 40 or 100 or 1,000 massage therapists. You're right, but it's not normal for a professional athlete to have.
Yeah.
It's not normal.
This could spur a massage therapist clause in contracts.
It doesn't make any sense, right? If Deshaun Watson had a good massage therapist, you would use that guy. It's like a pro trainer. You don't switch your trainer and have 30 trainers over the last 2 years. And once again, having 40 different massage therapists does not help Deshaun Watson's case here. Maybe he did have pleasant experiences with the 18 that came forward. But that doesn't mean the 21 that came forward before that aren't telling the truth as well. So the defense of Deshaun Watson, I don't really think it's a great defense. And how much longer is this going to continue to play out publicly? When are we going to get some sort of settlement? If we get a settlement, when does the NFL step in and eventually place him on the exempt list? I mean, this story has taken so many twists and turns over the last 2 weeks alone. I have no idea where we're headed next. But that is the latest with Deshaun Watson. 800-224-2004 is the number if you want to weigh in. This is the Jake Asman Show here on a Thursday. It is opening day. It's a great day if you're a baseball fan. No sport does MLB, or no sport does their opening day better than MLB. There is a whole lot to talk to with Major League Baseball. We will get to all of it coming up in the next segment, including Francisco Lindor getting paid big money last night. So we'll get to the Lindor contract, how it impacts the contracts for Carlos Correa, Javier Baez, Corey Seager, Trevor Story. A lot of different things are impacted by the Mets giving Lindor big bucks last night. We'll get to it next. Jake Asman with you. This is the Jake Asman Show. You're listening to us here on a Thursday morning on Sports Map Radio.
Sports Map all night.